Welcome back, MTG Joe here. Today we are going to summarize the recent updates to competitive play on MTG Arena. The folks at the Wizards side on Magic GG, they just had a live stream on Twitch updating some of the kind of qualifier weekend top Arena Championship news. We're going to go through it and cover it. There's also some comments from the paper play, just doubling RC invites in a lot of places, but we're going to be focusing on Arena for today. So we don't have the exact article published just yet, but thankfully our good friend Fire Shoes on Twitter screen capped a lot of it that we'll cover through today. So we're going to kind of work in reverse order from the Arena Championship back down to the day one events. For the qualifier weekend. So notably, these changes will only be taking place as of the May qualifier weekend. So this one in March and the April one is still related to the Arena Championship 6. No changes there. This will change for 4. So in terms of the Arena Championship, currently it's only 32 players, 200K prizing, and the finalist gets invited to the World Championship. They're now shifting this to have an uncapped amount of players being able to qualify for the Arena Championship. They were anticipating 100, 120 was the ballpark figure the individual threw out. So kind of good numbers there, just more people being able to compete, which is good. Up the prize pool, finalists are still included in the World Championship. However, the top 16 in this Arena Championship also get to qualify for the Pro Tour. So this is probably the top of the top. Your run-of-the-mill, day-to-day Arena player is not going to really get to this point, but it's a little bit more open. What is changing is the structure of day 2 of the weekend, and then we'll cover day 1 as well. So for qualifier weekend, day 2, so the current system, you need 7 wins. And if you don't have 7 wins, you don't qualify. 6 or fewer, they have this internal leaderboard that's kind of upping the game. That you get your points, but you might make it, you might not. The new one is pretty clean. 6 wins qualifies for Arena Championship. But what's really nice is you can literally get 6 wins in day 2 of the Arena Championship and then have to start again at Platinum rank in terms of ranking up. The new system now changes it to, depending on the number of wins that you get, you just kind of bypass the next month's rank ladder. So you get either day 1 invites for 1 to 3 wins of qualifier weekend, or if you get 4 or 5 wins, you just go straight to day 2. So that's a nice change to kind of eliminate some of the feel bad moments. I remember one month I got 3 wins on day 2, got some gems for it, but then the next month I was just back down at Platinum, and it was kind of demoralizing for a hell of a month to just then kind of cap it off with, well, better luck next time. So we covered that. And then lastly, with day 1 of the qualifier weekend, they are changing it. So right now you have to go 7-1 on day 1. Now it'll be up to 3 losses once you're knocked out. So you could go 7-2. So they did acknowledge that, going 7-1 is difficult. We've seen in the Arena Champ or the metagame challenges, going 7-0 tends to be a little bit of a stretch goal. But this should help to eliminate, give you some leniency in terms of taking some losses, a bad maul or something like that. So this should help. So all in all, this impacts once you're in the qualifier weekend. Some things that they did talk about is doesn't seem like there's plans to make best of 3 draft ranked at this point. They threw out some numbers of where people were engaging the formats. It was kind of a false positive that I didn't agree with them. So they were claiming that more people play Premier and best of 1 draft than best of 3, but that's kind of a symptom of the fact that best of 3 draft is currently not ranked. It's one of those, well, if you change it to ranked, you likely see those numbers kind of equalize. So it's kind of an odd, you set up the system to fail, and now you're claiming its failure is the reason that you're not changing the system. So kind of an odd one there. There was no, they are not changing the manner in which you get play points for the rank ladder. So top 250, you get 20 play points, or you get right into the invite. Top 1200, you get 20 play points. That's not changing. Events aren't changing. Metagame challenge, Arena opens are going to continue to be limited. They haven't made any indication that it's going to be constructed for the time being. For qualifier weekend, they did throw out the notion of timeless. They said that the format's too in flux. Just kind of going through some of these notes in my head from the recent thing. And then the last one that I found the funniest, or actually before the last one. So the question got posed a couple times about MTGO style leagues and challenges. They said they were having discussions. It was a lot of like maybe, yes, no, probably. They talked about having a way that you could kind of, in the same way that, MTGO 5.0 lists get published, have a similar mechanism in doing so for Arena, but there was a lot of talk without any commitment at that point. And then lastly, the funniest was, the question always gets thrown out, you're doing all this stuff, you're increasing the volume of attention on Arena, more people are competing in the Arena Championship, where's spectator mode? And while it was mentioned that the team that would be handling that is not the ones on the call, the individual, I think his name was Kyle, who was talking about like the change of play qualifiers, basically echoed he would love to see it. He would very much champion it, but there's nothing in the works, which is just like funny because also like, what are the chances he gets spoken to after like, hey, you're not supposed to say that. Just like keep hush hush, but also it very much sounds like in tech talk, we can build anything, but we don't have the budget. We don't have the priority. A lot of like, even what I do for Bert, there's a whole bunch of things we want to do, but it's, do you have the money to do so? And then where are we putting it in the priority of everything else? A lot of these teams and what we've seen with Arena a lot, even just with all the bugs recent, like where are you dedicating your resources? Where are you drawing your attention? So all in all, it sounds like don't hold your breath on spectator mode. It isn't going to come anytime soon. But that's pretty much it. I really wanted to see a different way to kind of compete in competitive. I find the current system is a marathon where you have to either grind a lot in the the play-in events to get your qualifier points, or grind a lot on the ladder, or you can pay a lot to play in these play-in events, but you're still going to have to like spike multiple tournaments. The notion of like leagues, more self-contained tournaments, like even just paying for like a qualifier, like if you just paid to get into the day 2, but paying multiple times in day 1 to then get into the day 2, it feels kind of bad. Like a lot of, even personally, like I've made day 2 3 times now. I used to qualify every time top 1200, but it's a lot of time. It's a lot of effort. I'm playing Magic at a more like sparing rate. I know a lot of people are kind of, picking up games here and there. Just the more self-contained tournament, I think would be something that I would like to see going forward, but we'll see where it goes. At this point, if they give us more of these metagame challenges, I'm happy. Just kind of, play your game. If you do terribly, just kind of register again. It's not a huge money sink or time sink. That kind of limits the amount of feel bad that goes into it. But welcome your thoughts. What do you think of this new system? And are you going to be competing more in terms of trying to get into the qualifier weekends? Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.